Shut up and sit down.
Back on Inside Wisconsin, more with Brad Davison, who is a Big Ten champion at Wisconsin. You guys were picked lower half of the league. Explain to us how it ended up that you got a trophy and you're all bouncing around on the floor with the Big Ten title.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, obviously people didn't have very high expectations for us coming into this year because of the talent and the amount of experience that we lost, and we didn't have a whole lot of experience coming back. But as soon as this summer, when we came back for workouts and, off-season lifts, we knew the talent that we had. We knew the pieces that we had. We didn't exactly know how the pieces would all fit together and what that puzzle would look like. But we knew that we had the talent. And if we got things clicking and got things all put together, we could compete. And we always say that's the standard of our program. You know, the way we play, the style we play, we're built to compete. When we're built to compete to win the Big Ten. So it all worked out. We won a lot of close games, and we continue to get better each and every day. And this is where we are now.
Speaking of bouncing around on the court in a celebratory Big Ten championship moment, you had, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, an awkward embrace with Big Cat from Barstool Sports. Do you know Big Cat? Did he have Brad on his belly for a reason, just for you? Because you wore part of his outfit there for a minute after the whole celebration. What's the scoop there?
Yeah, so Big Cat and we got introduced a couple of years ago when Michigan played at Wisconsin in football, and I actually had the opportunity to show him and the rest of his Barstool buddies around our Camp Randall football facilities. And so I got to give him a tour of the trophy room, the weight room, the practice facilities, Camp Randall. And so that's where kind of our relationship started. And then we just got closer. You know, we got each other's numbers. We text after games every once in a while. And so after we beat Rutgers, I tweeted at him and I said, "We'll see you at the Kohl Center Tuesday for the Purdue game." And then behind the scenes, he worked things out and he got to the game. And I was not the mastermind behind the face paint and the basketballs here with the Brad on the chest. But I ended up wearing that all over my jersey. So I don't think I'll be able to wear that jersey the rest of the year, but definitely a pretty legendary moment in the celebration.
What did you think when the ball left Chucky's hand against Purdue? Because I'm not so sure it screamed that's going in when it left his hand.
No. Honestly, personally, I was still in shock that I missed the free throw.
Right.
Because I had a free throw to kind of make it anticlimactic, end the game, make your 2 free throws, Brad, and then you win the game. But I think that game was meant to turn into an instant classic. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
So you knew Jaden Ivey was going to make that shot because it's March. It always happens. And then Chucky came down, got separation, shot it. And I remember running kind of like with the ball, looking up at the ball as it goes. And then it banked in, and I was like, "You have got to be kidding me." And then everyone was running down the floor, and I was just kind of in shock, taking it all in. But, you know, he says he called bank, but there's absolutely no way he called bank.
So I didn't bring up the free throws because we want you to feel this is a safe space, that you're good here. But long as you brought it up then, and now I think everything's free game. How come in the last month, first off, you want to fight everybody at Michigan, and then Nebraska crashes into Johnny, and at least you guys showed some restraint, but I felt like you wanted to fight those guys too. You guys have been a little edgy here the last few weeks.
I like it.
Oh, it's February. It's March. Now you got to be ready to go. No, but it's go time. You know, you're always going to stand up for your teammates and for your coaches and for your brothers. The Michigan, there's obviously no place for that in sport, and that was obviously a very unfortunate event. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and thankfully, you know, we all moved on from that. But yeah, the Nebraska one, that was unfortunate too, just kind of after the play. But these things happen in games, so we're not going to spend too much time thinking about it.
There was a lot with that Michigan thing, but my favorite moment, and I mentioned this to you the other night when we met, you were hell-bent on singing Varsity after that thing. Walk us through the melee on the thing. I don't want the details, but man,
yeah,
we're singing Varsity. Hey, we are singing Varsity right
now. Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of flack. Support, whatever you want to say for that. So basically, after it all happened, the teams were getting separated. Michigan was their players were all back inside their locker room, but their coaches were kind of like huddled up on the corner, talking back and forth with different people, and the security guards were trying to kick us our players and coaches off of our court and letting Michigan stand on the corner. And I was saying, like, no, you're not going to kick us off our court. Like, kick them off our court. We're going to stay here. We're going to sing varsity. We're going to do our normal program where we sing varsity, and then we get to go around and shake all the, call it the students' hands, the fans' hands, and take pictures. And those are moments and interactions that I really value and cherish. And at that time, I only had two home games left after that. So that was something that I definitely wanted to take a part in. I know everyone in the clip is just, let's sing. But really, it's just kind of the principle of, this is our court. We're going to do things our way, the way that we're supposed to, and they can get off our court.
Yeah.
You rah, Wisconsin. So you have that experience because you're there and you're in a Kohl Center. How much do you enjoy, like, football season when you're not the focus and you're not the athlete and you can go sit in the stands and just be an idiot and scream for those guys?
Oh, I love it. I'm a football guy at heart, so I played quarterback in high school, which I'm sure you guys know from the broadcast. Every game they tell everybody. But I'm a football guy at heart, so I love football. A lot of my best buddies on the football team. So I love going to football games. I personally don't sit in the student section because I really like to watch it and enjoy it. There's a little too much chaos in the student section. Those people aren't necessarily as in tune with the game. That's what I'll say about that. But so I sit with our recruits or I sit with our coaching staff right there in the first couple rows, and I get to take it all in. So I love nothing better than a fall game day in Madison.
Hey, Brad, really easy. What are the words "on Wisconsin" mean to you, man?
Man, that's a good question. I would just say pride. I think there's a couple of words that come to my mind when I think of on Wisconsin and just Wisconsin in general. I think of pride and privilege. I think our fans, we have a lot of pride, and as a player, you want to have a lot of pride for getting to wear the W each and every day. There it is. And I think of it as a privilege, to represent this university and to wear that jersey and to represent our program, but also just, to step onto that Kohl Center floor and to realize that not only do you represent yourself and your family and friends, but you get the opportunity to represent all the alumni that came before you, the people that wore that jersey, and the boosters that give you the opportunity and support you, and then the fans that, kind of live and breathe, Badger basketball and Badger sports.
Which of those jerseys do you like best? I'm trying to get used to the UW one. I'm not sure I'm sold.
We've wore quite a few jerseys over the last years. My junior year, when we won the Big Ten, we won our last 8 games in a row, won at Assembly Hall to win the Big Ten. We had an alternate uniform. It was the white. It was our home uniform. It was a white. We never lost in it. And so I love winning. And so therefore, that's my favorite jersey I've ever worn here because I still to this day have not lost a game in that jersey.
It's white. What does it have? Was it just Wisconsin, Badger? What else was on it? I'm trying to picture it.
I think it said Badgers. I'm pretty sure it said Badgers.
Okay.
But it was big time. I don't remember what it said. I just know it won a lot of games.
So right. You.
And since Trevor gave you 2 words on Wisconsin, I'll give you 2. What do these words mean to you? Andy North.
That is my guy. Andy North. He's been one of my, in all seriousness, he's been one of my best friends here at UW ever since I came on campus. I sit with him on the plane rides after games, before practice, after practice. It's awesome to have someone in the program that you can go to talk to about anything. And that's kind of my relationship with Andy. I've gotten really close with him and his family. He's going to be at my wedding in July. The one thing we always say, we're going golfing. I don't know if I'm ducking it or if he's ducking it. We haven't got on the golf course yet, but that might just to help my golf pride, hopefully, maybe not playing with him. But, he's meant so much to me. And just to have someone that, unconditionally loves you and supports you, and him and his whole family have been terrific to myself and my family.
My guess is if you haven't won 2 U.S. Opens, you're ducking him. That's my initial appraisal of the situation.
He always says if we're competing, he'll go lefty, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll just stay away from this.
I love that a guy like Andy North takes Brad Davison under his wing. And Brad, here on Inside Wisconsin in our first season, as this is the last episode of our first season, we've had Coach Gard, Coach Bo Ryan, and Coach Dick Bennett. You were 1 year old when he went to the Final Four, but we've had all 3 of those guys on Inside Wisconsin in our first season. I know how much Coach Gard means to you, but just talk about his mentorship with you. You mentioned this in your speech the other night on senior night.
Yeah, like I said, Coach Gard and I, we've gone back since 8th grade when he was the first coach that I ever talked to, my first interaction with a college coach. And that relationship just continued to grow from there. And it wasn't a normal recruiting relationship where, coaches tell you how good you are and how much they want you. It was, if you want to play at this level, here's are the things that you got to get better at. And as a competitor and as someone that was eager to learn and get better, that struck a chord with me from the very beginning as this is someone that I would want to play for because, he's not going to butter me up and tell me how good I am, but he's going to push me to become the best that I can be. And that's kind of when our relationship has continued to do as I got to college too. And as I've grown and developed as a player and also kind of worked up the ladder in the program, he's really taken me under his wing as more of a, not really a player-coach relationship, but kind of just as a mentor relationship, as especially over these last couple of years of when you go through different situations, he'll call me into his office or he'll give me a call on the phone and say, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. You sure you want to sit in this seat someday? Or these are my thoughts. What do you think about it? Or here are my options. What are your thoughts? And just to have someone that's willing to include you and to mentor you and to really support you and take you under his wing has meant the world to me because he knows what my goals are and what my aspirations are. And so I can't say enough about how much our relationship has grown over the last 4 years and especially over this last year with this last season. And I'm so thankful for his example and his leadership and just for the opportunity that I've had to learn and grow underneath him. And I know even though our player-coach relationship is hopefully coming to an end here in like 4 or 5 weeks, man, I know that's a relationship I'll have for life.
So we want to coach when we get done with basketball. When are we done with basketball? Because we graduate. I don't know that you can be a grad assistant because you've been there 7 years and there can't be a thing left in the course catalog you haven't taken. Unless I don't know if you philosophy or a women's study major or something. But what do you see for your basketball after it's done at Wisconsin?
Yes, I have a little different perspective on the game of basketball than some other people in my position. So growing up, I never had the desire to play basketball at the professional level. My goal was always to compete at college basketball at the highest level, and then I wanted to get into coaching. So the professional basketball opportunity has just kind of become an opportunity over the last couple of years because of our team's success and my individual success here. So I keep saying I'm going to keep my hands and heart open to what playing opportunities are there after this year. But my end goal and my passion is still very much in coaching. So
given your thoughts on and approaching how you think of basketball and pro basketball, yes, there's obviously going to be opportunities. How willing are you to kind of chase that? Because some guys go Turkey, Israel, France, Italy, and they'll chase the little ball around the big ball. How far are you willing to go just to see what's out there? Because it seems to me at some point that'd be cool to kind of see the world and play ball too, if you couldn't just get in the league.
Right. Those are the thoughts that I've been wrestling with and thinking about. And I've been trying to keep it to the wayside and just be present in the moment with these guys right here and the opportunities that we have. But it's already March, so I got to start thinking about those more and more. And so those are definitely the conversations that I'm having with my family and my fiance. That's the other thing that I get the opportunity to do is I get married in July. So these opportunities are not just, and these decisions are not just my decision, but it's both of our decisions. So I'm not exactly sure my view on that yet. I think that's something that I'm going to continue to think about and pray about as the time comes. But the one thing I do know is that, my end goal isn't to make it to the NBA. My end goal is to become a head basketball coach at the highest level. So knowing that also plays a factor into my next year plans as well.
All right, we will wrap it up. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, we're not wrapping it up. We can't.
Okay.
I've got to pursue this because honestly, I'm not watching Keeping Up with the Davisons. I don't know. Tell me more about this gal because I don't follow People Magazine and all the trends. Who is she? Where'd we find her?
So her name is Tyra Buss, and I outkicked my coverage by a long shot. She's from Southern Illinois. Her dad's whole family is from the Dells area, though. So we kind of claim Wisconsin Dells the second home. But she played basketball at Indiana University. She won't tell you, but I get to brag about her. She's the all-time leading scorer of the Indiana women's basketball program. And then after she graduated, she worked for the Big Ten and did color commentating for a year. And then she got into the coaching ranks and was an assistant coach at Evansville last year and is an assistant coach at Milwaukee this year. So yeah, I outkicked my coverage. That's about as much as I need to say. But we met this during COVID and then got to talking and realized we had a lot of the same morals, values, and beliefs and interests. And then one thing led to another. I bought a pretty nice ring, put it on the ring finger, and we get married in 4 months.
Golly, I'm gonna tear up. Just real quick before we go to break, chances that Aaron Rodgers officiates the wedding.
Well, we gotta get Andy North on the phone and see what strings he can pull.
Totally.
Well, here's the thing. There, I'm a Vikings fan, so
you suck.
I think I'm
That was awesome.
Here's the thing. So Tyra, she's a Packers fan. Their whole family's a Packers fan. They got me an Aaron Rodgers jersey for Christmas this year. You want to know what they told me? It's my playoff jersey because then I can retire my Vikings jersey because they're done for the year.
Well, yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, because if they give you a Kirk Cousins jersey, they'll be like, "This guy, forget it." Do you do the skull? Do you just do the skull cheer and everything like that?
Come on, I'm Vikings through and through.
Dude, you're despicable.
Look, we really loved you until just now. Like Wisconsin, man, you were just the thing. And
let's go to break, and then we'll get a different guest for the last segment.
Appreciate you guys having me. Yeah.
Yep, you've been great. Mwah.
Inside Wisconsin is brought to you by Baycare Clinic, Cobblestone Creek, the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, Mill Home Supper Club, Festival Foods, Capital Credit Union, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, American Family Insurance, Rolltech, and by Miller Lite.
Helpful critiques, ideas, great stories, people we should know, the great bar in your town, the fish fry you want to know, the fish boil, anything that you want to reach out to us with. We are happy. We are here. You can be the inputters. We're here to listen.